My family, hi, welcome to another one on Truth and Love the Church. So this is one of those videos where we expose things that happen behind the scenes.
The key thing you can do to reduce is actually improve health.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
We're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms, and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
So in the next 5 to 10 years,
So my family,
Gonna have a wonderful time.
exposing all these hidden truths, because what you don't know is...
It's behind the scenes. Somebody wants to control your food production.
My family, we're going to be getting into this video, but before we get into it,
You can use a few seconds to call your friends, your relatives, call those you know, those in your contacts, and tell them it's time.
For just $6, unpack the ultimate Christian streaming experience. Dive into life-changing sermons, gripping and heartwarming shows, epic, soul-stirring movies, and spirit-lifting music. Stay informed with up-to-the-minute news and explore powerful, thought-provoking documentaries and docuseries. Ignite young minds with dynamic and engaging youth and kids programs. Alpha TV has everything you need and more.
And for the African audience, Nigeria and the other African community, it is actually 4,000 naira or equivalent. Let's just say $2.50. So kindly check it out. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment.
Subscribe now to get started.
I warned you on several occasions about the food you eat and the drinks you take. You really need to be cautious. You need to be more careful about these fruits that you don't know where they're coming from. I told you some time ago, many of us were very excited about the seedless grapes and seedless oranges and seedless this and seedless that. It used to be fun. I mean, it was easier to eat those things without having all the trouble of picking out the seeds. But well, while that was wonderful, the question was, at what cost? At what cost? It's not much fun anymore. Especially now that we know why they're doing it. It wasn't to make it easier for us to eat. And then you've got these fruits that are larger than, many times larger than their natural sizes.
This is seedless GMO. This is seedless GMO.
This is what real bananas look like, and bananas have seeds. They actually have seeds all throughout. But this is real bananas, God's given bananas. And this is the bananas that you guys buy. Genetically modified. Obviously it's just not real. Big difference. God, Satan.
What in the modern GMO is this? Just show you this. Let me show you this. It's from Lidl, yeah? And this pack is from Sainsbury's. Like normal little small ones, right? Bro, this is huge, bro. This is huge. I don't even want to put this in my mouth, bro. I don't know if I should want this or be scared of this, bro. Like, I just don't get it. I'm confused. I don't know. 5 of them back to back. Bro, that's like one of these other ones. I'm not getting it, bro. What do I do with it? Strawberries aren't meant to look like this. They're meant to be small. They're meant to be fibrous. They're actually meant to be seedy.
This will make you think twice before buying supermarket fruit and veg. Watch till then to see a clean way in which pesticides and insecticides are not used.
So they sell those ideas to the farmers and tell them, look, you use these chemicals or these particular seeds. They're giving them special seeds. The more interesting one now is fruits that never grow old. They never overripe. You can keep your fruit for a year. Think about that. It will not overripe, it will not change. But guess what? Birds and animals are fleeing from those things. Ants don't go to them. Pests avoid them. Only humans, well-targeted humans, who don't know nothing about what's going on. You need to be careful. I've told you before, cancer is not natural. Make no mistakes about it. Let no one deceive you that somehow cancer is because you're not eating well, or you're from a poor place. Cancer doesn't come because of any of those things. Cancer is man-made. It's man-made. It's coming from the foods and the drinks that people are taking. And they know it, those who are responsible for this. Cancer is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's big business. Getting people to have cancer and to be struggling and looking for the cure with all kinds of drugs, and then the chemotherapy that's also recommended. It's all big business. And don't let anybody tell you and deceive you that it's about conspiracy theory. And I've told you before, conspiracy theory is positive. They don't want you to be smart. They don't want you to have an analytical mind.
Put a video up there so you can see.
Deep in the heart of Wayzata, Minnesota, lies one of the biggest family dynasties in America, except you've never heard of their name. This family dynasty made more money last year than Coca-Cola, Nestle, and Chevron combined. In fact, they're the largest private company in the US. And this single company controls a massive share of your food supply. They're responsible for supplying food for some of the biggest brands out there, like McDonald's, Burger King, Kellogg's, Mars, Dunkin' Donuts, Unilever, Safeway, Kroger, Albertsons, Audi, Tesco, and many, many more. Look in your kitchen right now, and you're gonna find a ton of food made by this secret mega corporation. From cocoa powder to cooking oil, salt, sugar, eggs, meat, but you won't find their name on any of these labels. Most of you have never even heard of this name before. That's because this American dynasty has worked very hard to keep it that way. They don't want you to know what they're doing behind their factory doors. Because if you ever found out, you would never buy their food products again. It's that bad. What is the name of this family, you ask? Cargill.
So they know they control everything you are eating. One company. Now imagine these companies come to your country and say, look, Mr. So-and-so, President so-and-so, Prime Minister so-and-so, we want to help your country, but your soil is very bad. It's producing a very bad carbon print. And they will tell you all kind of measurements and lie to you. And you think they are the experts. They tell you now you have increased your print by 40%. You need to reduce it. So how do I reduce it? Remember, they are stopping now. They're saying we shouldn't have cattle now, beef, because the fats, I did not say fat, from cattle is increasing footprint, carbon print. As crazy as it sounds, cow farts are indeed a source of global warming. Wow. When cows fart, they release methane into the atmosphere. In the US, about 20% of the methane emitted comes directly from cow farts. Now, if they are saying United States is 20%, what about Africa, the whole of Africa? What do you think they're going to say? We are listening to fools. Fools who are sitting in their high chairs and acting high and mighty, and they know exactly what they are doing, and they know you have really taken in Lion, Singer, the fisherman, his boots, then the stool and the green he's sitting on, and his gumboots. You have taken everything. How do people sit down in their offices and say, we are scientists, the fat is the one troubling us from Keto? How can you get grown men with a wife speak such nonsense, and presidents of other countries sit down and go, yeah, they're right, scientists are good, we need to stop this animal production. Why? Because Africa is growing these things, and the only way they can conquer you is if they tell you to remove what gives you money. Your source of income is what they are after, and they are after African countries. We are already in trouble. That's what they are coming with. They will tell you this, and they will tell you the good reasons until you trust them. Wow. And Bill Gates is one of the biggest owners now of the seed monopoly, or on the seed monopoly. He's actually one of the biggest players. He now owns a whole lot of diverse seeds because America agrees with it. But look at Bill Gates, didn't stay in America. He came to Africa. Right now he was, I believe, in Ghana there. Yeah. What is he trying to do? He's trying to get into Africa. I cannot trust a man who created a software that didn't work, Windows 95. It had faults. A lot. Now all of a sudden he knows my software. Not even a doctor. Didn't even study medicine. But he's coming here to cure people. Because he loves us. A man who says there is that he needs. Elon Musk says we need to increase the number of people. Who is right? I'll listen to the richest man on earth.
Watch this.
When people visit grocery stores, a wide range of sumptuous fruits and vegetables are displayed on the shelves to get their attention. However, in the quest to keep these fruits and vegetables appealing for consumption, some food retail stores and companies that house them use certain preservatives to make them stay fresh for long periods of time. Little do people know that they are being deceived to buy and ingest these consumables along with poisons in the name of preservatives.
There are major companies who are doing bad and terrible things in the world, and they don't like those things to be known. These companies that are corrupting your food, they don't want the world to know what's going on.
It has now come to the fore that a particular preservative created about 2 decades ago to preserve fruits and vegetables contain chemical substances found to be harmful to human health. They labeled it Apeel.
They like all these nice names. But that's the veil.
Before digging deep into the analysis of Apeel, it's important to understand the historic precedent of food preservatives.
With mass distribution across the country, food manufacturers were running into the problem of how to keep their products fresh for market, and how to do so at the lowest possible cost.
You didn't even have refrigeration. It hadn't been really determined how to preserve things in a way that would keep them marketable for a long period of time. There was canning, but that didn't work for everything. So what were you supposed to do?
Increasingly, companies were turning to the burgeoning chemical industry for answers. By 1901, companies like Dow and Monsanto had introduced a host of new chemicals to the food supply.
There's preservative discoveries. Formaldehyde, the ability to synthesize formaldehyde. There's copper sulfate, which is a heavy metal, is used to turn vegetables greener when they're canned.
Copper sulfate in particular was one that was used for a very long time. It went into green peas and it went into pickles. Anything that needed to look bright and fresh, copper sulfate went into it.
In the 19th century, most food was still real. And then the 20th century saw the process of food going from real to something that no one had ever seen before.
I remember going to a local health food store, one commonly known, and there was a sign that says our vegetables have waxes on there to improve their appearance. No, it's actually a preservative to make it deteriorate slower so we don't actually realize how far removed they are from the bushes, trees, wherever they came from. It's a preservative. We try to minimize our intake of that because every time we're eating food with some kind of preservative on it, in the case of a wax coating, or in it when, you're buying canned or, bottled foods, and those things are making the quality of that food less vital, less supportive of life.
With this in mind, what then is it about Apeel that brings it into critical questioning?
You can't always trust if your veggies are organic anymore. There's a label on your produce called Apeel, which is supposed to be a plant-based protection that helps the produce you love stay fresh for longer. In other words, a chemical coating put on your produce which you can't wash off so it doesn't brown or decompose in a normal amount of time because it's more environmentally friendly than coming wrapped in plastic.
Apeel, or Apeel, is a World Economic Forum and Bill Gates funded product that is being sprayed on fruits and vegetables which are on the verge of spoiling so that they appear fresh and last longer.
So you understand some of the things that you're eating, well packaged, especially in countries where they don't carry out any serious work to ensure that what they're importing into the place and giving to their people is okay.
The Organics Material Review Institute, this is a nonprofit that looks at all the things that are in food, all the products that are coming out to see if they are in fact organic. They label this thing, it classify it as a crop, pest, weed, and disease control. And they also categorize it as a fungicide. This is what Apeel submitted to the EPA, and we look at the ingredients. So they have their product here. It's called Organapeel, and you can see the active ingredient is citric acid, 0.66%. Now, technically, citric acid is a fungicide, but it's 0.66%. The other ingredients are 99.34%. Well, it doesn't say what the other ingredients are. We're trying to get a feel of maybe what's going on in that other 99+%. So we go back to Apeel's website, and it starts to tell us a little bit about that. It says Apeel is made of purified mono and diglycerides that have been derived from plant oils to mimic the natural protection of peels. Okay, mono and diglycerides. Now we're getting somewhere. What are monoglycerides? Mono and diglycerides can be found in processed foods such as coffee creamers, frozen dinners, ice cream, frosting, whipped topping, candy, soft drinks, chewing gum, and a bunch of other things, but not something you would really associate with the most organic, clean, natural products in the world. This is Apeel's patent for this product. And you read the abstract, it says, described herein are methods of sanitizing and preserving produce and other agricultural products, for example, for consumption as ready to eat. Wait a minute. We heard about preserving produce, but sanitizing, we didn't hear anything about that. You're not hearing about that in the media. So there's a two-step process here we're not really in the light about. What's the sanitizing process? It says the sanitizing agent comprises an alcohol or comprises ethanol, methanol, acetone, isopropanol, or ethyl acetate. So there it is again. So they're putting
the same thing you take your nail polish off with. We like to wrap around your vegetables and fruit you're planning on getting some health benefit from. And then we wrap it in a plastic coating just to make sure it lasts forever, like the spike protein that's floating around in your body right now.
This is essentially a heavy metal poisoning operation. There's no way to remove it. You can't wash it off. You can't use other chemicals to get it off. You can't mechanically rub it off. This is serious because this chemical or group of chemicals is being used to coat your food in an invisible way, which basically means it's without your consent and against your will to remove it. That's a double whammy. You should be aware that the CDC warns that ethyl acetate can affect the body if it's inhaled or comes in contact with the eyes or swallowed. You can't make this up. As for hexane, some authorities have said that short-term exposure can affect the central nervous system. that's your brain, and can cause headaches, dizziness, confusion, nausea, drowsiness, and the effects on the brain can be permanent.
I have finally looked into this whole Bill Gates Apeel thing. I have had many comments about this Apeel, the stuff they're spraying on the produce. And I thought I would be avoiding it by not buying anything with the little sticker on it that says Apeel. And apparently it doesn't have to have the sticker on it. And I found this out the hard way because I'm pretty sure I got some produce with this spray on it, and I will show you what happened with me personally. I'm thinking these things are going to be marked with a sticker. Okay, they're not. I go into Aldi's. I get the same avocados. I've talked about them before. They are from Mexico, and it's organic. And I've never had a problem with these avocados. The last couple bags, I noticed they are not ripening very well at all. And I've had to throw some away, thank God. So I finally let one sit for a while. I'm going to see if this thing ever ripens. And the light bulb never went off until just the other day when I cut it open. And this thing, if you've seen the videos about food looking like rubber, and you think, is that true? It is true. This is the avocado, and it's rubbery. And you can twist it. You don't get anything on your hands. And so, obviously, I'm not going to eat it, and I'm washing off the chemicals that they say are toxic to the touch.
They've been at it for long. But now, it's becoming full blast.
Apeel was founded in 2012 by James Rogers after receiving a $100,000 grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to help reduce post-harvest food waste in developing countries that lacked refrigeration infrastructure. After the initial grant, backing has been approved by Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates and venture capitalist firm Andreessen Horowitz. Apeel has raised $110 million in financing to date.
Other investors listed on the company's website include the who's who of venture capital, as well as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the latter of which has been on a spending tear, tens of billions of dollars over the past decade, in what some would describe as a coordinated plan to consolidate control over the world's food supply.
What then must we do?
One of the things we should consider, as it is today, is big-time farming. You know, one of the things that Satan does is to make man look foolish. He makes man do dirty things, foolish things, stupid things. He likes to make mockery of humans. So the Bible says, while they were parading themselves as wise, they became fools. They became fools. Don't let anybody fool you.